Today we're going to go over the best setup for the M4A1 in Warzone. As many of you are already aware, the M4A1 is probably the most popular AR in all of Warzone and Call of Duty Modern Warfare in general. This thing is an absolute laser beam, really does not have too many downfalls at all besides the super close range. Even then, this thing is definitely the best all-around AR in the game. If you guys would like to see me live, I do stream Monday through Saturday at 6:50 p.m. Eastern Time over on Twitch. I would love to see some new faces. But for now, we're going to try and break down what exactly makes this thing so overpowered and see exactly why everyone and their mama is using it so frequently. So now we're going to switch over to the gunsmith and check out some of the attachments. This gun, even without any attachments, is still one of the best guns in the game. Once you do load it up with attachments, it becomes by far the best AR in the entire game. Starting off with the muzzle. Your best option is going to be taking the Monolithic suppressor to limit the amount of noise you make throughout the entire map. It will also help you stay as stealthy as possible as you will not appear on the minimap. This mammoth of a suppressor will also increase the damage range on the gun. That is going to be one of the main reasons I recommend taking it, is because of how large the map truly is in Warzone. There are a ton of mid to long range battles that you will need to be well equipped for. Now, moving on to the barrel. I recommend you choose a stock M16 or Grenadier barrel for a few reasons. The damage range being one of the main reasons, as I said before. The map is very large and can be very open at times, and this attachment is only going to benefit you in those kinds of gunfights. The bullet velocity will help the bullets travel to your target quicker, so it is easier to hit targets at a longer range, and you won't have to guess the bullet lead nearly as much. It will also help a ton on moving targets as well. The last benefit of this attachment is going to be the recoil control. This will help you control the already very little amount of recoil on the gun, so it is basically non-existent with the other attachments included further on in this build. Another option you have here is a Corvus custom Marksman barrel if you want to substitute a little bit of the strength of the accuracy, range, and control buff that you get from the Grenadier barrel, but you will also receive a little bit of a boost in mobility. It is really up to your preference and playstyle, but I will say that this build could greatly benefit from a little bit of extra mobility, as that is one of the main downfalls of this build. We'll touch on that later on in the video. Now moving on to the optic. This one is really personal preference, guys, but for me there's only one option. I think the Integral Hybrid is the best option here. You basically get a red dot for short to medium range battles, and you also get an ACOG type scope for medium to longer range battles. It is the best of both worlds because you never know what kind of fight you will get into in Warzone because of how different the map can be as you have to rotate throughout it. You could be fighting someone in a house in a very closed off room with your red dot, or you could be on top of a hill raining down bullets on people that are a couple hundred meters away. That is why it's so important to have this hybrid scope. Next, we're going to move on to the ammunition attachment slot. This is going to be hands down one of the strongest parts of this gun build. The 60 round mag is what changes an incredibly strong build to an absolutely absurdly overpowered build. You could essentially wipe a full 3-man squad with one mag. So not only do you have a ton of versatility with the optic, basically no recoil with your barrel, well, and the other attachments, but this thing will also come equipped with a 60 round mag, which basically means that you don't have to be incredibly accurate to mow down entire teams. You can miss a lot of your bullets and still come out on top with this gun, which is one of the main reasons it is such a strong gun. You really don't need to be pinpoint precise to get a lot of kills or to really be effective with it, which is why I think a lot of people run it. It is an extremely forgiving gun overall. The last attachment is where you have a few different options. My personal preference here is going with a Ranger Foregrip Underbarrel. With this attachment, you will get more recoil control and aim stability, which when combined with the other attachments above will make this thing absolutely incredibly strong. You could also switch to the Commando Foregrip, which I see a lot of people using as well. Instead of getting the recoil control with the Ranger grip, you will get the recoil stabilization with the Commando grip. I would recommend testing it out and seeing what feels better for you. I personally prefer the Ranger over the Commando just because of how it feels in game. But honestly, with either of these attachments, you basically get the best overall gun in all of Warzone. But there is a small catch with this build. This build will make your mobility incredibly low, as can be seen below. Your ADS speed is also going to be very slow, especially in comparison to a lot of the builds that people run on their ARs or SMGs, you know, like the MP7, which is incredibly meta, or other guns like the MP5. But that is where the versatility of this gun and build really comes into play. You can also substitute the Ranger foregrip for a rear grip, such as a stippled grip tape, which will increase your mobility as well as your ADS speed, which are, like I said, the two main downfalls of this build. This used to be my go-to, but now I prefer to use a Ranger foregrip because of how easy it is to control the gun overall. I also switched my go-to loadout from running an M4 with a sniper to an M4 with an SMG, such as the MP7, MP5, a Bison. It's really up to you. A lot of it is really loadout specific. Maybe you want to use a sniper and you really need a gun that has a fast ADS speed. This build might not be optimal for you, and I just want you guys to keep that in mind. I really suggest running this M4 with a gun that does bring that fast ADS speed to the table, but that's just how I prefer to play. I prefer to have an extremely balanced loadout overall. At the end of the day, it is up to you to decide what kind of playstyle that you want to try and take advantage of. If I personally had to choose, I would use a Ranger foregrip, as I don't mind substituting a little bit of movement speed for even better control over the recoil and aiming stability. That is basically going to be it for this video, guys. If you'd like to see me live, make sure you check out my Twitch channel. I stream every day at 6:50 p.m. Eastern time besides on Sundays. We would love to see you there. If you have any questions about why I picked a certain attachment or why I didn't add in a specific attachment, feel free to comment below. I always encourage a healthy discussion, and I'm always looking for ways to improve, well, my builds as well as my content. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. I will catch you all in the next one. Later!
Grenadier!
Behind that, I think.
Move in position.
One second, knocked one over here.
Nice.
Finished.
Oh my god.
That gets pissed. Give fucking
I think there's
Kobe,
people
baby.
down below, dude.
Yeah, I think there are too.
Below or above? I think we got that
Below.
team. I'm getting flashed, maybe? No, that was just a weird sound, I guess.
Gas is moving
Yeah, we're
in.
screwed, bro.
New safe zone located.
Yeah,
They
you're
didn't
right.
stand a chance. Good work.
Oh,
we won.
are we screwed? Are we? Let's go!
Are we?
Let's go. We won. Cool. Good game.
Down below.
Oh, yeah, you're right,
The day was stuck even worse.
dude. Bro.